The moment you stop chasing her, the world rearranges itself around a simple silence. The calls dry up. The messages stop mid-arc. The frantic searching for proof she still thinks about you ends. You feel a tug of terror the size of a planet, then the dread recedes into a tight, manageable ache. For the first time since it ended, emptiness is not a void you fear but a space you could fill with something real. You have been living inside reaction. You boosted your days to the rhythm of her replies. An entire life compressed into whether she liked a post, who liked it after her, and the timing of a dot that said, active. That rhythm controlled your sleep, your appetite, your clarity. Stop. That rhythm was not love. It was a habit wired like a drug into your nervous system. When you stop, the immediate effect is raw. You will want to reach. You will imagine excuses that sound reasonable. Just one check. Just one text to close this. The brain is a liar that confuses soreness with necessity. It will manufacture stories, some believable, all dangerous. Do not give it the oxygen of action. Silence is not absence of feeling. Silence is a decision translated into behavior. It is the refusal to let your identity depend on someone else's choice. It is the first boundary you ever set that truly belongs to you. Say it, I am not defined by who chooses me. Repeat it until the sentence stops hurting and starts shaping your posture. Your muscles will tense in anticipation of contact that no longer comes. Your hands will open the phone before your head instructs them not to. These automatic reactions are the old code running on repeat. Let the impulses pass without response. Watch them like waves. Let them crest and fall. They will become less dramatic the more they are ignored. There will be a phase where hope dresses itself as strategy. You will whisper that staying silent is a tactic to draw her back. Don't wear that lie. Strategy still clings to outcome. Decision detaches from outcome. You go silent to restore yourself, not to manipulate a return. Block, delete, remove. Make your silence real in the places where your addiction lives. Remove access to the illusions she leaves behind. Each removed icon is a small surgical cut that lets the wound start to close. Each tiny act of deletion is an investment in your nervous system's recovery. Expect withdrawal. Expect nights where your chest feels tight like you swallowed a fist. Expect small rituals that used to matter suddenly burning like embers when you stumble across them. Name the pain instead of pretending it's not real. Call it detox. That naming transforms chaos into process. This is the first day that belongs to you since everything fell apart. Use it decisively. Plant one seed, an old hobby, a run, a call to a friend. Do one thing that doesn't involve checking a screen for approval. Keep doing that thing until your days stop orbiting her. The silence will begin to feed you the way her presence did. 2 rules. That's it. 2 non-negotiables that separate men who heal from men who keep bleeding. No endless list, no therapy jargon. Just 2 commandments that decide who you become after heartbreak. Rule 1, never monitor her. Rule 2, never hold on to hope. Break either and you collapse back into weakness disguised as love. You lose yourself in the illusion that you're still part of her story. You're not. You're a footnote she's already turned the page on. The first rule sounds simple until you realize how deep the addiction goes. You tell yourself you're just curious. You justify it as staying aware. It's a lie. Every scroll, every peek, every replay is a self-inflicted wound. It keeps your nervous system wired to her presence. You think watching her life gives you control. It doesn't. It makes you a spectator in a game that ended months ago. You're not observing her, you're feeding the habit that keeps you small. The second rule kills the illusion that maybe she'll come back. Hope feels noble. Feels romantic. But hope after rejection is just fear dressed in poetry. It whispers that the pain will end if she returns. It convinces you that waiting is strength. It isn't. Hope is a chain that binds you to the past. It's the reason your phone still feels like a loaded weapon. It's the reason your energy stays trapped in what-ifs instead of building what's next. These 2 rules exist because men destroy themselves trying to rewrite endings. They chase closure that doesn't exist. They confuse persistence with courage. Real courage isn't trying again. It's knowing when the lesson is over. The man who follows the rules doesn't need to win her back. He needs to win himself back. He understands that discipline is the new form of love. Never monitoring her means reclaiming your focus. It's choosing silence over obsession. It's rejecting the fantasy that her life still belongs to you. Every time you resist checking, your self-respect strengthens. Every moment of stillness rewires your mind. The addiction loses its grip. That's progress you can't measure on a screen. Never holding on to hope means burning the bridge that leads back to weakness. It's emotional warfare against your own dependency. You stop waiting for her apology. You stop craving the text that never comes. You stop negotiating with reality. Acceptance becomes the ultimate act of power. The rules aren't punishments. They're protection. They defend your dignity from the part of you that still begs. They rebuild your masculine frame one refusal at a time. When you follow them long enough, something shifts. The silence stops feeling empty. The waiting transforms into creation. You realize she's not the lesson. You are. Every man faces the same fork in the road, discipline or destruction. One path keeps you stalking ghosts. The other rebuilds your foundation brick by brick. The rules decide which man you become. Ignore them and you stay trapped in yesterday. Obey them and you finally step into tomorrow. You think watching her every move gives you leverage. It doesn't. What it hands you is a contract with your own suffering. You scan posts like evidence. You build elaborate stories from fragments and call it intelligence. That storytelling is cowardice dressed as strategy. Belief in control is a psychological trick. It says if you know enough, you can soften the blow. You can't. Knowledge of her nights won't heal your days. Control only feels possible when you remember how to invent it. This surveillance proves nothing about her feelings. It proves everything about your emptiness. The number of likes means 0. The timing of a comment means less than 0. You're measuring ghosts with a ruler. The metrics that obsess you are illusions designed to keep you dependent on disturbance. When you monitor, you stay reactive. Your nervous system locks in constant alert. You wait for signals and interpret noise as meaning. That state powers anxiety, interrupts sleep, and erodes clarity. Recovery requires low drama and predictable habits, not frantic reaction to other people's performative moments. The fantasy of control turns you into a judge of a life you no longer live. You pass sentences on photos and parties you weren't invited to. You become a prosecutor arguing against yourself. That courtroom is rigged. You always lose. Control is a rehearsal of power, not the power itself. Real power ends the rehearsal. Real power is the quiet action you take when no one is watching. It's the morning you don't check the phone. It's the night you go to bed without rehearsing a comeback line. Those small refusals build autonomy. Stop confusing access with influence. Being able to see her life gives you neither sway nor significance. Visibility is not value. Your visibility on her radar is a cheap currency. Spend it and you bankrupt your dignity. Save it and you invest in your future worth. Give control back to your actions. Choose what you do with the moments you have. Decide who you will become without her approval. Action reorients identity. Habits become your frame. When you prioritize process over signals, you reclaim agency. Admit the truth, you cannot control someone else's choices. You can only control how you respond. That restriction is freeing when you accept it. It clears bandwidth for creation, work, training, friendships. That clearing is the first benefit of letting go. If you want to practice control, practice it where it counts. Commit to small disciplines. Run when you don't feel like running. Call a friend instead of scrolling. Read a book rather than replay a rumor. Build rituals that replace the compulsion. Those rituals prove you can direct your life without needing permission from her presence. The payoff is practical: clearer focus, sleep that returns, sharper decisions. Women notice a man who isn't orbiting them because he has a life not defined by their availability. Independence attracts quality and filters out casuals. Invest in your interior, external change follows. Hope is a liar disguised as a promise. It tells you the wound will close if you wait long enough. It whispers that the next notification might be the one that fixes everything. That voice is not wisdom. It is cowardice turning inertia into virtue. After a breakup, hope dresses itself in romance. It uses memories like bait. It convinces you patience equals power. That illusion keeps you standing in a doorway that has already shut. Waiting is not bravery when the outcome requires someone else to change. Hope transforms into a ritual of avoidance. You count days until a message, you rehearse responses, you plan scenes where she returns and every argument resolves. Those rehearsals are coping mechanisms disguised as plans. They let you postpone rebuilding a life that does not include her. Killing hope isn't cruelty. It's clarity. It is choosing reality over fantasy. Say plainly, she chose something else. Accepting that fact redirects your focus back to yourself. Acceptance clears space to rebuild routines. Don't confuse optimism with hope. Optimism fuels action. Hope fuels waiting. Optimism says, I will create a life that's better. Hope says, maybe she will come back and make it better. One motivates, the other immobilizes. You will feel guilty the first time you decide she's gone for good. Guilt is a sneaky guise for dependency. It tries to trick you into thinking compassion means keeping the door ajar. It doesn't. Real compassion includes tough boundaries. You love yourself by closing that door. The mental work is brutal but simple. Name the truth. Write it down. Read it when the ache hits. Repeat until it sinks in. Say it aloud every morning. Make a list of what you lose by waiting. Time, opportunities, friendships, growth. Let the tally be a ledger that fuels action. Practicality beats sentiment. Make a schedule that leaves no space for rituals of hoping. Fill mornings with training, afternoons with work, evenings with friends. Replace imagined conversations with real ones. Replace stalking with skill building. Time spent building you is the most efficient antidote to longing. Expect relapse. This is normal. The brain will recycle old comforts. You will see a post, a photo, a shared memory and feel the sting. Don't panic. Treat relapse like a flashback, not a failure. Reset immediately. Delete the triggers. Call a friend. Go for a run. One reset doesn't erase progress. Refuse to bargain with outcomes. Bargains are a form of soft hope. You promise to be different if she returns. You promise to change only as a tool to win her back. That's performance. Become better because you deserve it, not to earn forgiveness. When hope dies, something else grows. Urgency for your life. You stop waiting for permission to be happy. You ask how fast you can become that man. That urgency translates into projects, into new standards, into sharper focus. It's grief's productive flip. Allow the grief. Let it be honest and finite. Grief without deadline becomes a lifelong habit. Grief with a plan becomes a bridge to reinvention. Set intentions, measure progress, celebrate small wins. Build momentum until waiting feels like a past life. At first she feels a sigh of relief. The pressure that gathered around her like a storm cloud dissolves. No more late-night messages to decode. No more rehearsed apologies to dodge. The constant need to manage your mood vanishes and she notices the space where you once were. That absence is unfamiliar. She didn't expect the silence to cut that cleanly. For weeks she feels unbothered because her world rewired before the breakup. She had time to process the distance. Your sudden quiet registers not as loss but as a gap in her daily static. Curiosity follows relief. She glances at your profile like someone peering into a shop window, not hungry, just inquisitive. She wants to know whether your life continued in the same pattern or whether you've built something new. But this looking is different from your stalking. It is observational, not desperate. She checks to orient herself, not to soothe a wound. When she realizes you are genuinely absent, grudging respect can appear. The narrative she maintained about you, that you would always be available, starts to fracture. That fracture doesn't equal affection. It challenges her certainty. If he's not chasing, he is no longer a given, and that complicates her internal story. Sometimes her reaction is practical. She may feel lighter. No more emotional labor. Freedom can feel like relief, not regret. Those moments do not imply indifference toward what happened, only that her focus has shifted to living. Other times she experiences a pinch of ego bruising. Humans dislike ambiguity that questions status. Your silence can trigger questions. Was I undervalued? Did I misread him? Those questions are ego checks, not admissions of loss. They might make her reevaluate, but reevaluation does not always lead back to you. If she reaches out, understand the motive is often validation. A "hey" can be a quick measure. Is he still attached? Is the backup still on standby? When you respond eagerly, you confirm the old story. When you respond with calm and distance, you deny the script she hoped to read. There's a window when curiosity can become regret, but it depends on timing and context. Regret usually arrives after novelty fades or new options disappoint. Even then, her feelings are filtered by practicality. She weighs convenience, chemistry, risk, and reputation. Emotional math is rarely pure. Do not mistake attention for desire. A message can be curiosity, boredom, or ego testing. Context and consistency matter. Desire builds from repeated, meaningful signals. A single outreach is rarely evidence of long-term interest. If she never notices your silence, this is possible. Not everyone recalibrates the same way. Your vanishing may be unremarkable in her map of life. That outcome is acceptable. Your healing cannot depend on external recalculations. The most dangerous trap is performing silence to manipulate outcome. Women perceive falseness. Fake disinterest smells like calculation. Authentic absence comes from a firm internal pivot. That pivot reflects standards, not tactical play. Ultimately, her internal weather is irrelevant to your work. Her reaction is a data point, not a mandate. Your responsibility is your recovery. The space you create should serve your restoration, not her reconsideration. Keep the focus there and everything else becomes secondary, and keep moving forward. Detachment begins as discomfort. Your mind screams for closure, your body aches for contact, your pride fights to stay seen. But real strength isn't about appearing unaffected. It's about staying composed when everything inside you is breaking. Detachment isn't pretending you don't care. It's training yourself to act with control even when you do. It's the art of emotional discipline. You stop giving attention to what drains you. You stop chasing validation that comes with conditions. You stop performing worth to earn recognition. Detachment is the separation of emotion from impulse. It's understanding that feelings are temporary, but actions define your direction. Every text you don't send is a rep. Every time you hold back from checking her page, you strengthen your inner frame. It's like training your nervous system to stay calm under chaos. You're rewiring yourself from a reactive boy into a composed man. That transformation doesn't happen through thoughts. It happens through restraint. You'll notice something strange when detachment starts working. Peace feels boring. The absence of drama feels empty. You'll crave the chaos because it used to feel like connection. That craving is withdrawal. You're detoxing from emotional overstimulation. Don't run back to the noise just because silence feels unnatural. The boredom is healing disguised as stillness. People romanticize detachment like it's coldness. It's not. It's clarity. You still feel, but you don't chase what those feelings demand. You acknowledge emotion, but you don't obey it. You can love someone and still choose distance. You can care deeply and still walk away. That's maturity, choosing logic over longing. Detachment also means no more revenge fantasies. You stop imagining the moment she regrets it. You stop rehearsing the speech that proves your worth. You stop performing strength for an audience that no longer exists. You build it privately. You let silence be your statement. The best revenge isn't indifference, it's peace that can't be disturbed. Real detachment shifts how you carry yourself. You speak less, observe more. You stop explaining your value. You start showing it through calm presence. You become unpredictable, not because you're playing games but because you no longer move from need. Your energy turns inward, your time becomes sacred, and your presence gains weight. When you reach that state, you stop fighting for people who let you go. You stop proving your worth through suffering. You realize love shouldn't require losing your identity. Detachment gives you that clarity. It's the point where self-respect outweighs attachment. In time, the emotions that once shook you become neutral memories. You see the situation for what it was, a lesson, not a loss. You no longer need closure because you've already closed the chapter within yourself. That's the endgame of detachment, emotional independence. The moment you achieve it, you stop being reactive to life. You start directing it. You no longer chase peace through people. You create it through self-control. That's where true power begins, in silence, in restraint, in total composure. Your silence forces a recalculation in her mind. She built a story where you are predictable, always available, always chasing, always small enough to return. When that pattern breaks, the script falters and curiosity slips in like light. She checks less from need and more from interest in who you are now. That curiosity isn't romantic at first. It's an inquiry. Did you actually change, or are you performing absence? She measures you against the version she remembers and watches for the tell. Confident men leave different tracks than those who perform confidence. Women read tiny inconsistencies like radar. When she sees you aren't performing, when your silence comes from real motion, her internal map shifts. Suddenly you represent not a backup but a separate life. That shift complicates her assumptions. It doesn't equal longing, but it dislodges complacency. Ego reacts faster than heart. If she used your presence to feel chosen, your withdrawal creates cognitive dissonance. She wonders whether she miscalculated. Men who chase are cheap currency. Men who don't become scarce and thus more costly in her ledger. Scarcity forces comparison, and comparison creates attention. This is not magic. It's basic attention economics. People value what's harder to access. When you move out of reach, you change the cost-benefit equation. She must decide whether you were convenience or true investment. That decision may take weeks. Don't assume this shift guarantees anything. Many women feel nothing when a man leaves. They feel relief, not regret. Those who feel something are often reacting to their narrative being challenged. Curiosity may lead to introspection or to a quick experiment to confirm your detachment. She reaches out, check motive. Is it to soothe conscience, to tick a box, or to test attachment? A test is a mirror, a genuine reach is a bridge. Your reply decides which it becomes. Answer from composure, not choreography. The dangerous moment is when she returns to prove she can. Some reach out just to feel missed. Don't mistake that for vulnerability. True vulnerability shows as repeated willingness to do hard work and sustain change. A single check-in is often ego repair. Your evolution must be authentic. If growth is surface level and aimed at winning her back, she'll sense the performance. Real evolution is messy and lived. It's long-term investment in routines, relationships, and craft. It shows over months, not curated over a weekend. The right response to her recalculation is quiet competence. Keep doing the work without commentary. Let actions build credibility. Show up for your job, body, friendships, craft. Those are the markers of change. Discipline becomes attractive, not sudden transformation. Finally, own your agency. Her reaction is outside your control and irrelevant to your worth. Evolve for yourself, not approval. If she returns, evaluate whether she fits the man you became. If she doesn't, know your growth wasn't dependent on her. Either outcome is fine because you chose yourself first. Practical steps. Keep routines that prove you exist beyond her orbit. Wake early, train, read, call friends, start a project. Let small wins pile up every day. Those wins silence doubt and build a life that no longer requires her permission. The day arrives when her name no longer jolts you. Mornings come with calm instead of a pit in your chest. The memory remains, but it no longer dictates your hours. You survived the nights and now your days have room again. Rebuilding is repetition. You keep workouts, answer solid friends, learn meaningful skills. Small acts compound into a presence that stands without another person's approval. Your identity flips. You become someone who chooses, not someone chosen. That shift adjusts how you move through the world. Less pleading, more selection. Attention becomes currency and you spend it wisely. Grief and gratitude coexist. Mourn honestly. Thank yourself for surviving. Both work together to close the chapter and extract lessons. Forgiveness clears bandwidth. Forgive to free your energy, not to excuse behavior but to remove its hold on you. Boundaries guard your days. You stop granting access as default. When someone proves unreliable, you close the door without spectacle. Boundaries preserve dignity and time. Anchor life to projects. Training, craft, work. These demand consistency and return measurable progress. Progress dissolves longing because it proves change independent of another's choice. Choose relationships with intention. Reconnect with steady people. Dismiss enablers. Date with standards and treat encounters as information, not rescue attempts. Be magnetic by subtraction. Remove need, presence becomes stronger. Confidence appears in calm follow-through. A life built, not chased, naturally draws better returns. If she reappears, evaluate patterns, not lines. A single text is noise. Sustained behavior reveals intention. Decide if she fits the man you became. Sovereignty is the prize. Measure success by daily discipline, honest ties, and purposeful work. Those metrics replace hunger for approval. Start practical rituals. Wake early. Move your body first. Replace scrolling with reading. Call a friend. Practice one productive skill daily. Lean into discomfort as fuel. When loneliness hits, do work. When nostalgia arrives, journal. Redirect urges into action and momentum forms. Record wins. Save a run time, finish a chapter, make a plan and tick it off. Proof points beat fantasy and cement belief. Keep pleasures that don't involve her. Cook for yourself. Learn a song. Take a class. These remind you life contains many satisfactions. Make the silence practical. Delete what tempts you. Block accounts that restart the itch. Move photos and tokens into a box or trash them. Each act reduces triggers and trains your system to forget the reflex to reach. Keep your phone out of the bedroom at night. Replace midnight scrolling with deliberate sleep rituals. Build time horizons. Set 90-day goals for fitness, learning, and work. Break them into weekly tasks. Measure progress with a friend who will hold you accountable. Strong alliances replace empty longing. Cultivate a future you. Sketch a one-year plan with milestones beyond relationships. Visualize the person you respect and work backward. When days feel the same, a plan keeps you honest. Transformation is slow. There will be setbacks, but the reset matters. Get up, recommit, and continue until the man you become is unmistakable. Own your days. Own yourself. If this hit you deep, subscribe, and keep evolving into the man she'll never get to break again.